Welcome everyone to another tutorial. My name is Michelle White and today we're going to jump right into this, learning about our announcement tool. Together you and I are going to create this employee spotlight, which is going to teach us how to add text, how to align, add photos, crop photos, shapes. It should give you a pretty good understanding of all the capability the announcement tool has to offer. So with no time to be wasted, let's go ahead and jump into this. All right, so in this tutorial, you guys, we're just going to kind of create this together. This should give you a good idea of obviously all the capabilities the announcement tool has to offer. All right, so we're going to go back to our media library and we're going to go to the blue button that says Add Asset and we're going to go to Create Announcement. All right, so right off the bat, I'm going to name my announcement. I'm going to call it Employee Spotlight, and then I'll give it a name. We'll create one for me, Michelle White. And then we'll hit the checkbox. All right, so first off, you can change the color, which is what we're going to do, but you can also add an image as well. So it just kind of depends what you want to do there. But we're going to choose just white, keep it simple. All right, so you can just see I just drag and drop here. If you guys knew like a certain hex color, right, to kind of keep your branding, of course, you could just put your hex colors here. All right, so if you kind of remember what it looked like before, we need to create a header. So it's an employee spotlight and it was in two separate lines. So we're going to go to our text box here and we're going to hit add text. All right, so one thing to kind of keep in mind, just because it does it's a little bit different maybe than what you're used to, but when you click the add text, this brings you into one layer. And the one layer allows you to just basically move it or resize, right? And I can resize at any point at any angle, which is kind of nice. Now, if I want to edit the text, I need to double click. This now brings you into this like editing mode. So I'll just do line one, just to kind of give you an example here. Now, if I want to get out of here, there's two ways to do it. The first way to do this is you can hit stop editing. And this is going to bring you into that first level where I can move it. Again, I can adjust my, my height, my width, whatever I want to do. If I want to get back out of this completely, then I click on the Canva part. And you can see it just all kind of went clear, right? We're kind of out of all the modes. Now, the other way to do this is, again, I can come in here, one click, double click, right? I'm in my editing mode here. All right, I can kind of keep typing some more stuff. The other way is instead of hitting this button, I can just simply click on the Canva and that will just take me right out. So you'll have to kind of play around just a little bit with, what works best for you, but just kind of know that one click brings you into one mode where I can move around, I can adjust the box. 2 clicks is going to give me into that editing zone. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put my caps on here and we're going to type in employee. Now, I'm going to do employee and spotlight as 2 different text boxes. Technically, I could come in here and I can do spotlight as well. I could totally do that. But the only reason, and by the way too, I could stylize these different, meaning I could make this one bold, I can make this one light. Again, I can make this one blue, this one green. So it is kind of nice because you can have, different lines be different colors and they're still in that one text box. But I'm just sort of trained, I think it's just from, being in Adobe products, I guess. I'm just sort of trained to have 2 different text boxes. So that's just what I'm going to show you. So, all right, so we're going to back out of here. All right, so one thing is you do want to make sure your text is highlighted when you're adjusting any colors, fonts, any of that. So we're going to go ahead and use Frank Gothic. I know, kind of lame. I'm going to left align this and then I'm going to just bump this up to maybe 120. It kind of looks good for right now. And then I'm going to choose a font color of this blue. All right, so I am going to eyeball this, kind of making this up a little bit here. Now, what I'm going to do, you guys, is right off the bat, I am going to copy this. And I actually have a notepad opened up. And I'm going to paste this in and you're going to see why in just a minute. All right, so let's, did it change there? All right. So employee, and again, I'm going to stop the editing, and then I'm going to sort of just kind of eyeball, I'm thinking right about here. Now, we don't have a way where I can just copy this, right? That would be pretty nice if I could just copy this and just change out the name, but unfortunately, we're going to have to add a new text, right? So I'm going to hit add text. Again, right off the bat, I'm just going to start to line this up, double click in here, and I'm going to type in spotlight. Okay, I'm going to left align just so we're kind of all evenly aligned up. Ooh, I don't think I selected that. So left align, or right align, I'm sorry, I'm telling you guys wrong. And then I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So the employee is about 120. I'm going to shoot for about 100. I'm going to change that font. So I'm not going to do heavy, but I'm going to do medium. All right, so when it comes to the color, right, I don't have a picker. I don't have anything to grab this blue. And so that's where this notepad kind of came in handy, because I can copy this. And I can paste this right in here and hit enter. All right, so again, stop editing. You can see, all right, I need to kind of come in here a little bit. And I'm just gonna kind of line this up. There's no grids, but again, I'm gonna kind of line these boxes up. I'm gonna click on the Canva, that's gonna take me out, and that actually looks pretty good. All right, so we're gonna add then my name. So I'm gonna do the employee name and then that person's title. All right, so again, we're gonna hit add text box. Takes me to that first level over here. I'm gonna drag it. All right, I'm gonna kind of size it up. I'm used to kind of sizing my box first before I add. I know everyone's a little bit different, but that's not how you spell my name. So Michelle White. All right, and I'm gonna keep it black, but I am gonna make it bold. And I'm gonna drop that font size down. It seems a little aggressive in my eyes, so I'm gonna do about 50. And again, you guys, so I'll show you the other way. I'm used to making 2 boxes, right? But I'll show you the other way, where you can have 1 box, create a project manager. But again, what I could do is I could stylize this different, right? So we're gonna make it gray. I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. And I'm gonna copy this gray because I wanna use it again. So I'm going back to my notepad. All right, and I'm gonna paste that in there. All right, so you can see it's adjusted, right? So 2 options, right? You can make them separate boxes or you can create one. There's no real wrong here. It's just kind of whatever works for you. All right, so I'm gonna put a little description about Michelle. So again, I'm gonna hit add text, right? I'm gonna drag this in. And again, I'm just gonna kind of eyeball align this a little bit just because I want it to all be sort of nice. Double click in. All right, so what are some fun facts about Michelle? And this is true, by the way. So did you know that Michelle recently got engaged? Yes, and is getting married this year. So I expect some wedding gifts from you guys. I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm gonna select it again, you guys. Left align and font size a little aggressive. I'm gonna go 50. Now I wanna make this the same gray as my creative project manager. So again, you guys, I'm gonna come in here. I copied that gray. All right, and I'm gonna come in here and paste it right in. Okay, and go out one more. So it's a little large for me. Again, that's just my OCD coming in a little bit. All right, and let's maybe add some more text. She has also been with the company, which is true, with the company for 11 years. I know, what is wrong with me? All right, so again, I'm kind of clicking out here. So a little left align. Again, I'm just gonna kind of bring that in a little bit, and I'm gonna bring this down. All right, guys, so now what we have is I need to basically bring in a picture of me, and then we can just add a couple of those shapes to add just some dimension to this, and we'll be done. So first thing I need to do is I need to drag and drop this photo of me. So I'm gonna go to image, I'm gonna go to add image. All right, so this is just stuff that I added in before, but we're gonna do this together. So I'm literally just going to drag and drop right in here. And you'll see that's quickly getting added. I'm gonna hit okay. All right, so here it is. This is the one I'm going to select, and I'm going to hit okay. All right, when we talk about images, you guys, you know, a lot of people, they just bring these huge files in. And you have to be smart about this a little bit. So if you have big files like this one, what I would recommend you guys is compressing them before you drag them into the system. Now this is one that I just use. It's called tinypng.com. And you literally can just drag and drop your images in here, and you can see sort of how much it's compressing. This just makes the image smaller, obviously in size, but it's still gonna keep it, you know what I mean, looking good. It's not gonna blur your image or anything like that. Just kind of getting into the habit of this is just good practice, because again, we don't want to like overload the player with these, you know, 5,000 by, 10,000 images. So we really just want to have that little happy balance. So this is just a good tool to use and kind of get in the habit. Of course, you can say like, hey, Michelle, I'm not going to do it, or my files aren't that big. That's totally fine, but just sort of kind of keep that in mind. All right, so here's a picture. Obviously, this is not me. I wish I looked this cool. But yeah, so here's a picture, right? And so again, when you bring your pictures in, right, you can move them, you can make them bigger, you can do all sorts of things. Now, I want to crop her, and I'm going to make a circle out of it. But what I'm doing is that I'm just kind of bringing this in so it's lining up to my Canva from the height-wise. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm kind of picturing a circle, right? And so I want to make sure, you know, when it came in, this was too big for me. And so I'm just trying to visualize a little circle right here. And then I can make that a little bit smaller. So, all right, here's my image. I like this. I'm going to hit edit. And so you can see we have some different things here. So I'm going to go into the cropping. So circle, we have obviously rectangle, triangle. We have all these different things that you can do. And then you just basically kind of play around with these settings. So I'm just going to kind of, you know, if I were to draw a line, I'm just going to kind of center her a little bit. And again, I can make this a little bit bigger, right? I can make it a little bit smaller. But I think originally how I had it looked pretty good. So that looks great to me. I'm going to hit add. And then if I wanted to, I could add filters, like I could do grayscale, or I can, you know, add some blurriness. Again, you can kind of play around with these filters, of course. So this looks good to me. I'm going to hit save. All right, so this is still obviously pretty big, right? So I want to kind of bring this down a little bit. Keep in mind, it's easier to work with when the image is bigger, right? And I'm scaling it down versus when it's small and trying to scale it up, right? So it's good to sort of have that image a little bit bigger than normal. But again, I'm going to kind of scale this down. I'm kind of eyeballing it. This seems good to me. This seems like a good flow. So again, you guys, I'm just going to click on the Canva. That's just going to bring us right out. All right, perfect. So what I want to do is I just want to add some circles, basically. Nothing crazy, but I just kind of want to add a little bit of flair behind her image. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to shape, and I'm going to grab a circle. That's what I want. And I'm literally, you guys, just holding down my mouse and just dragging it. And so I'm going to kind of eyeball this just a little bit. I'm kind of eyeballing the height. That's kind of what I'm trying to do. And what I'm going to do is I want this blue. And so again, I'm going to go back to my notepad here, and I'm going to copy that blue. And I'm going to go to the color, and I'm going to paste that in and hit enter. All right, so again, hard to see, right? But I'm going to click out. And so I need to play with my layers, right? This shape is obviously over, quote unquote, Michelle here. So I need to sort of change that. And so here we have some layers. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to select this layer. And then here's the up and down. So I'm just going to choose down. Because again, if I come over here, right, I can make sure that Michelle is sitting on top. All right, so that looks great. Again, I'm just going to kind of move this up a little bit just to kind of give us some wiggle room. So here we go. All right, and then kind of click away. All right, so I want to create one more circle. And again, we don't really have that like copy and paste kind of feature. So I'm going to have to create another circle. So here we go, shape, circle, and then literally holding down my mouse and just dragging. All right, so the first one to me, it might be a little bit big, so I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller. Again, I have my notepad open so I can sort of copy the color. All right, but this time I'm gonna do like 50% just to kind of give it some flair here. So that's kind of what this is saying. This is full 100, here's 0, but I'm gonna kind of go maybe in the middle there. And again, I can click on canvas or I can click out. I need to play with a little bit of the layers here, right? So I need to go down. All right, so again, let's kind of click away. All right, so I want to make this kind of that first one that you and I created. I just want to make it a little bit smaller. And again, this is where my OCD is coming in. Just making a little bit smaller. That looks good. Again, I'm going to click this layer. And I'm kind of clicking on the right side here just because these boxes are sort of overlaying. And it can be kind of hard if I'm trying to grab, you know what I mean? Like, how do you know kind of which one you're grabbing, right? And so I like to just personally go right after the layer. It will sort of select it for you. And I just find that sort of a little bit easier to manage. And again, here we go. I'm going to grab that one and just kind of bring that out just a little bit. So yeah, that looks good, you guys. And right now I'm just using my arrows, right? My arrows on my keyboard. to go left, to go right. So a lot of different options to kind of find your flow there. So this looks great. Just a couple things to mention since we're in here is that you can add animation. So if you want to have some sort of flair, I could have, my name kind of slide in from the left or the right or fade. So again, there is some animation in here. And then also too, if you, at whatever point you just don't want to create the stuff from scratch, we do have templates as well. So this is our design team. We took a step back. What we did was we created what we feel are some good looking templates. So there's categories too, where there's birthdays, congratulations, right? Employee spotlights. Obviously there's different sizes as well, but what's nice is that if you do grab one of these templates, it does make it just a little bit easier because you're just switching out the content versus today you and I created it from scratch. But again, creating it from scratch just kind of helps you guys understand, how to do it, how to create it. So you can see that here it is pretty easy to use. Once you're done, all we need to do, you guys, is hit save. And yes, we want to save our announcement. All right, and so then it will bring you back to the media library, and the thumbnail will take a sec just to load, but if I preview it, here it is right there. The only thing I want to point out is that it does show, so anytime you do bring like a new image in, it's actually going to just create like another, I guess like another row here. But it will have a caret too, so it actually allows you to reuse this. You don't have to like recrop her again. So if you were to create another announcement with this image and then you had a triangle, you cropped her that way. Again, there'd be another sort of row here that's showing you that. We basically just save the image and then we save each basically modification that you make. Just because we assume that you might want to reuse it, and so we don't want to have you sort of, recreate the wheel again if you don't need to. All right, everyone, so that's the end of our walkthrough. So again, if there's something that you have more questions on, or maybe it's something that I didn't mention, definitely reach out to us. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching this video and have a great day. Thank you.